This is Computer Insider, Canada's award-winning television series with Bob Pritchard. This week on Computer Insider, we look at the latest offering from Daytimer, their Windows-based Personal Information Manager, or PIM. We'll also be showing you a number of different hardware and software products which should make your high-tech Christmas more enjoyable. This week on Computer Insider. Computer Insider is brought to you by AST Computer. You'll like the way we work. Sharp Electronics. From sharp minds come sharp products.
Season's greetings and thanks for joining us again this week on Computer Insider. As you may have heard, there's a lot of hype right now about problems with the Pentium chip from Intel Corporation. A number of manufacturers, by the way, have announced that if you do have a problem with your Pentium chip, all you have to do is give them a call and they'll work with you to get the problem straightened out. The issue only arises when you're doing large division and there are more than 8 digits to the right of the decimal point. Like I said, if you think you have a problem, contact your dealer or manufacturer and find out what programs are in place. The other thing which was surprising about this story was the amount of press that it's actually gathered, given that it's not that serious a problem. I mean, if you're affected, it's serious, but for most of us, it doesn't affect how we use our computers. In fact, there has been a number of discussions that manufacturers of other processors outside of the so-called Intel-compatible market may have been working overtime to try and get a little extra hype for the problems of Intel. In reality, I can't think of anything that's in the marketplace in the world of high technology that's actually working flawlessly. Another area I wanted to talk to you about was a Cornell University student who went online and stole some data to try and sell it to a dealer. The reason I wanted to bring it to your attention was that there's an awful lot of people who feel that because you can read the information on your screen at home or at the office, that it's your property. Take note, most information is covered by copyright law, so if you're going to copy it and sell it or distribute it, make sure you have permission from the authors and avoid all the hassles associated with copyright infringement. We'll keep you apprised right here on Computer Insider.
Computer Insider's Industry Insights has been brought to you by QMS, Seamless Network Printing.
Well, here we are just heading into the festive season, and boy, is there ever a lot of talk about what to get and what not to get. You go into the computer stores and to see what products are available and what software is available. It becomes a very, very confusing proposition for most of us. So this week, we thought we'd take a little tour of software on Computer Insider.
And then you access the CD-ROM drive, drive D.
In classrooms across America and at home, more and more students are learning using computers with CD-ROMs. On these discs, students can look up Charles Lindbergh and see him fly across the Atlantic.
Lindbergh touched down in Paris 33 hours and 30 minutes after leaving New York.
With CD-ROM, you can have like a visual presentation. So if you have something to look at, it keeps you in interest and you really want to learn and focus on that material.
Casey Dickerson, a soccer player, is using this technology to make a highlight reel.
And we're going to send it out to college coaches, and hopefully it'll help me get a scholarship. So,
CD-ROMs are also changing how young children learn at home. Sales of education software, including CDs that teach kids to read and do math, are up 400% from a year ago.
I can teach you. We can.
The new stuff is definitely heading towards CD-ROM, where they've got a lot more information on those CDs to make the software much more interactive, much more entertaining. It's a lot more fun.
The newest CDs use full-screen video in full motion. Those need high-speed chips like Intel's Pentium processor to run smoothly. But games still remain tops among kids. Sales of CD-ROM games rose more than 260% this year. This holiday season, you'll find interactive movies coming to a computer near you. This one is based on the movie Blown Away.
The back window is busted out and the latch is ripped. It's a sloppy job.
In another one called Under a Killing Moon, you play a private eye.
I'm looking for some information regarding the robbery at Rook's last night.
You now have the capability of loading up a movie on your system and interacting with the movie. You're right there in the scenes with the actors on the set, determining the outcome of the movie.
These interactive movies are on CD-ROMs. Computers that play them are the hottest sellers now.
Last year's industry forecast said that 50% of the machines sold this year would be sold with a CD-ROM drive. I suspect it's more like 60 or 70%.
Tell me where the places are you?
With all of this video, interactive movies need a fast chip, like Intel's Pentium processor, so the pictures run smoothly.
Venezia. It is unique, special.
Much of the new software coming out on CD-ROM, like Reader's Digest Multimedia Crosswords, which uses video, is aimed at the majority of people who use their home PCs for entertainment. Still, a recent study found 1 in 4 PC users plan home improvements with them, like landscaping yards and making home repairs, while doing work at home slipped to 4th. For now,
9 o'clock, 1 mile.
Fun remains first. Chuck Coppola reporting.
So many products to look at, so many possibilities for the computer. In fact, I can't really give you any wonderful suggestions. Just go to the stores and look and see what grabs your eye. When I went out and did my software shopping for Christmas, I made sure I picked up a couple of games and a couple of business applications and a couple of general interest titles just to make sure that when we get to Christmas morning we have a wide variety of products so that everybody can take better advantage of all the things that are happening in the world of high technology. Speaking about the world of high technology, if you'd like to get a copy of our most recent news fax list, all you have to do is call our fax on demand system. That's the first number we have listed on the screen, and in there you're going to find a complete listing of the information that's happened in the preceding week. Also, we'd like to hear from you and what you're doing with your computer and computer-based software. So if you have a story to tell us about or whatever, send us a note to our fax mailbox. That's the second number we have listed on our screen. If you're finding yourself a little bit disorganized, coming up later, we're going to look at day timers right here on Computer Insider.
If you want to attract more business, you've got to work together. We all have our own special visions of where we want to be and how we want to work, wherever we are. At AST, we build computers to meet your worldview with award-winning products, service, and support. From notebooks to super servers, AST Computer. You'll like the way we work.
Today's marketplace demands more information delivered faster than ever before. D-Link helps make that happen. D-Link manufactures network interfaces. D-Link connects computer systems with bridges and routers. D-Link writes network management software. D-Link manufactures computer networking and internetworking products to bring this world closer together. D-Link Corporation.
When John Nagy joined CompuServe, he was new at computing and an old hand on the mountain. He joined to get more out of his computer and more out of life. On CompuServe, as on the mountain, there was always something to discover, like the solution to a software problem that wasn't in the manual, or being one of the first to know about that special vacation spot and how to save time and money getting there. The mountain was a source of satisfaction he would never outgrow. In a way, a lot like CompuServe. For more information, call 1-800-554-4088. Start with the basics, news, travel, and encyclopedia, and more for just $8.95 a month. Then go beyond for free software and help with hardware and software problems. You'll get more out of your computer and more out of life. CompuServe, the information service you won't outgrow.
With a ho-ho-ho, the Christmas season definitely is working its way into high gear. And as you're out there looking through the various stores and whatnot, trying to find that right high-tech gift, I've been through the same situation myself. I went out and went through all the stores to try and find some Christmas presents for myself and the family, and I thought I'd show you some of the items I picked out this year and why we picked them out. The first one I came across, because I'm an avid bridge player, is called Olympiad Bridge. And basically, we went after it, and I made a mistake buying it. I thought it was a Windows-based product, so I got it home and loaded it up on the system. And lo and behold, it tells me it's a DOS-based product, so immediately my thoughts on the package are ruined because we pretty much moved into the Windows environment. Anyway, being a bridge player, I thought I'd load it up. And as you can see, this is just a fabulous little package and how it's positioned itself. Instead of having your traditional menu, you've got this entry level or entrance to a bridge studio, which gives you the options of playing duplicate bridge through the Olympiad. You can go into a practice session or go and play rubber bridge. Now, if you don't quite understand what all of these things mean, All you have to do is sit down with a bridge book or to sit down with somebody who knows how to play the game. Now, I wanted to go into the practice area of the program to show you some of the features of it. First of all, when you step into the practice area, you have the opportunity to select your partner and your opponents. Now, if you're like myself and you're kind of scared about how this might turn out, pick a couple of idiots to play against, people who don't know how to count the points and whatnot. Make them your opponents, and that way you have a much better chance of working. Of course, if you're a very sophisticated bridge player, you should find people with a higher skill set. Another facet of the program I really liked was in the setup. If you just click on the setup button, change the basic way the game's played. Normally, by default, the system turns around and gives you the random selection for best hand. You can change that so that you always have the best hand, or that you and your partner are always playing game, or that you can always play slam. Now, when I'm practicing, I like to play in the slam mode because I figure that no matter how badly I do, I can at least end up with a game out of the thing. As far as disappointments to the package go, well, it's a DOS-based application, although the graphics were just excellent. The other problem we ran into is you have to have 600K of memory available to be able to run the program. So if you're using double space or any other CD-ROM drives or other things on your machine, you may have a problem. Our best suggestion is to wait until the system boots up, and when the prompt comes for DOS, hit F5, which will bypass your auto-exec and config sys files. Then remember, before you start the game, to load a mouse up into high memory. Anyway, I like the game, I like it a lot. I just wish it was being handled through Windows. The second product I came across, which I thought was really good, is a thing called Multipro CTV. And basically what this does, and it works both with Intel-based machines and with your Macintosh equipment. What it does is it allows you to take your monitor, unplug it from your computer, plug this box or device into your computer, and then plug your monitor into the box. The advantage here is it takes the information that's on your computer and lets you put it to your camcorder or your television set. Now, why I really like this is, first of all, when we're shooting the show and we're out in the field, it makes it much easier for us to be able to get information from other people's computers. And the other thing was that I have this thought in the back of my mind that with a device like this, I could take my home theater at home and put a computer into it, and then take the computer-based games and put them onto my television set. So we did a little testing on that, and it worked out really well. In fact, when we brought up the bridge game, which we talked about a few minutes ago, it was absolutely fabulous. It wasn't flawless, but it was very, very good. We also tried to do a little bit of word processing and spreadsheeting and whatnot, but the resolution on the television set just isn't good enough to be able to support what's going on in terms of the types of resolutions that we're used to coming out of our computer monitors. Anyway, we put it in, we played some games, we thought it was a really good add-in. I think the retail on it somewhere around $200. The third product I had to look at had to do with Katie Smith's fat burning system. Now, I wouldn't exactly say that I'm twiggy by any stretch of the imagination, and I understand that it would be a good idea to get into some regular exercise programs. What do you mean you thought I didn't look like twiggy? To get into some regular exercise programs and to be able to get a program that would look after dietary needs and all of that, and the computer is the ideal location for it. What I found when I loaded the package was that this is basically based on a book or a videotape, and they've put it on a CD-ROM, cashing in on the CD-ROM phenomena. Now, if you're into weight-conscious type activities, then possibly picking up a package like this would be an okay idea. But I really think it's better to be left in the hands of the books or the videotapes instead of wasting a CD-ROM title on it. Coming up, we're going to be talking with Rick MacPherson of Ascom Timeplex, and later, some thoughts about Christmas on Computer Insider.
Only sharp presentation systems deliver the winning combination. Don't miss your next opportunity. Get the Sharp Edge. From a family of incredibly vivid computer projection panels to our convergence-free LCD projectors, you too can have multimedia presentation power like never before. Up to 16 million colors in computer, video, or combined. Sharp presentation systems and you, the winning combination.
2 days until the presentation. Plenty of time to pull it all together.
Hi, Marcy. Sorry, the deadline moved up 24 hours. See you in the morning.
Looks like a long night ahead. With her AST computer, she'll make it on time. AST computers in support for a winning performance. From notebooks to super servers, AST computer. You'll like the way we work.
When John Nagy joined CompuServe, he was new at computing and an old hand on the mountain. He joined to get more out of his computer and more out of life. On CompuServe, as on the mountain, there was always something to discover. Like the solution to a software problem that wasn't in the manual, or being one of the first to know about that special vacation spot and how to save time and money getting there. The mountain was a source of satisfaction he would never outgrow. In a way, a lot like CompuServe. For more information, call 1-800-554-4088. Start with the basics, news, travel, and encyclopedia, and more for just $8.95 a month. Then go beyond for free software and help with hardware and software problems. You'll get more out of your computer and more out of life. CompuServe, the information service you won't outgrow.
When it comes to using day timers to look after our information, there seems to be two extremes. On one side of the coin, we have the paper day timers, which you can write down and carry in your briefcase or purse or whatever. On the other extreme, we've had the electronic day timers or organizers. Today, we'd like to have a look at a package that finds that happy medium. It's a computer-based system, which means we have full access, and it's based on a paper day timer system so that we have the opportunity of being able to use the information in a format that we're very comfortable with. So today, let's go hands-on with Daytimer on Computer Insider. One of the important things that we have to keep in mind with this specific application is that it's running in Windows. And that means that we're going to be dealing with object-oriented programming and objects instead of text and that sort of thing. So to get into the package, what we do is we click on the icon, and it's taken us into the full month display, which is what we have up on the screen right now across the entire month. If we go up into this section of the screen here, you see there's a whole number of different options for views. You can look at a daily view, a weekly view, or a monthly view of any specific image you want to go into. Also, as we're going through up and through here, we have the opportunity to look at things like a phone directory or appointment scheduling and whatnot. That's what we have up here right now, is to look at some of our appointments. Now, another thing that I wanted to show you, what makes this package really nice from my standpoint, is the ability to bring up a phone entry system. How many companies do you know today that are sitting down and writing out messages by hand? This is a multi-user package, which means that you can take the messages in and then disperse them around the various users within the group. Now up in here we put in the name and we're putting in the person's phone number so that will be part of our permanent record as to what we're doing with this. Also, we have the ability to put in times and out times. We can put in notes, we can put in specialty fields, and we can put in other notations in. Now what I'd like to do now is to go back into our main system and go over and look up into our system, and you see in our phone directory we now have a complete listing of that call which we just received within the system itself. When we look into the software, you'll see there's a whole bunch of other opportunities. This one happens to be what we call the day view. Because this is put out by Daytimer, it's designed to look just like the day timers you would buy in a bookstore and put notes into. We're now back into our full month view. We have a close-up down here of what a one-day blow-up would look like, so you can have a better picture of what's going on with your time management. Now, another thing I wanted to get into with the package is down here across the bottom is a whole series of other icons which gives us more opportunities and more things that we can do with the package. And it gives us a picture of what we're going to look at rather than having to go through a lot of text and that sort of thing. I wanted to show you some of the print functions because this is what separates this package. The ability to print your Daytimer, to put it into a binder, and take it with you when you're on the go. You can set up and take your day view. You can get a listing of your phone directory, of your appointments, addresses, whatever you want to is in here. The only thing I wasn't really happy with was this idea of having to set the printer up. Because you can print on double-sided or both sides of a page, you have to go through a little test procedure, which is what we have on the screen right here. Now, we're not going to do it because if we were to take the time and go through it, it would take much more time than we have right now to demonstrate it to you. That was the only downstroke I saw with the whole package. At any rate, we're going to test it more extensively by using it with our support staff. And I thought now we go back over to the studio and look at some of the technical aspects of Daytimer. From a technical standpoint, it doesn't really matter what you do with the package as long as you use it to look after your time management. Speaking about managing things, we have our fax on demand system all set for you. That's the first number you see on the screen. Remember, it is a fax transmission, so you need to have a fax machine somewhere to receive it. Coming up, we'll be talking with Rick MacPherson of Ascom Timeplex. They're what they call a router company and look after moving information between office locations right here on Computer Insider.
Only sharp presentation systems deliver the winning combination. Don't miss your next opportunity. Get the sharp edge. From a family of incredibly vivid computer projection panels to our convergence-free LCD projectors, you too can have multimedia presentation power like never before. Up to 16 million colors in computer, video, or combined. Sharp presentation systems and you, the winning combination.
Today's marketplace demands more information delivered faster than ever before. D-Link helps make that happen. D-Link manufactures network interfaces. D-Link connects computer systems with bridges and routers. D-Link writes network management software. D-Link manufactures computer networking and internetworking products to bring this world closer together. D-Link Corporation. Computer Insider is brought to you by Maxell. From floppy disks and data cartridges to leading-edge optical disks, Maxell computer products are 100% tested, certified, and guaranteed. At Maxell, high performance runs in the family.
As we get into more and more computer technology and more businesses, a problem arises as to how to interconnect all those businesses to each other, whether it's one location of an office speaking to another location or two different companies speaking to each other. Today I wanted to introduce to you Rick MacPherson of Ascom Timeplex. And Ascom basically is a company that helps other companies interconnect with each other. Rick, maybe you could tell us what Ascom Timeplex does.
Ascom Timeplex is a multinational corporation providing telecommunications technologies to enable networks. We have various areas of technology, and from the internetworking side to connect a PC off the desktop into a network, as well as to provide technology that provides the cloud for the PC to communicate across the country to another PC.
Rick, how would you differentiate your product, let's say, from a company like Novell who provides networking services?
The Novell product essentially is the network operating system, the software that enables the PC to communicate from an operating system perspective. What we provide is the technology that attaches to the network to allow it to communicate, whether it be routing technology or circuit or frame-based technology for the wide area network.
One of the phenomena that we've seen is the growth in the size of files on networks with the introduction of graphics and whatnot. How's that impacting a company like Ascom Timeplex?
Well, that's essentially the current infrastructure in terms of communications speed availability is not capable of handling a multimedia application in several hundreds of thousands of characters. That's why we have to move. That's why we are moving to ATM infrastructures to provide that broadband capability and the large bandwidth requirements that those applications require. It's something that's occurring, and it's occurring at a much more rapid pace than, frankly, most of us anticipated in terms of deployment.
When we think of how companies interconnect with each other, we typically think of that as being a responsibility of the phone company. Would you comment for us?
In the business of the 90s, some days we are a competitor, and the following day we're a partner. It depends on the application and who the potential customer is and what kind of service levels the potential customer is looking for. But typically the phone company is providing the facility itself, the wire to allow this to occur. Typically is not providing the technology to enable.
If you were going to look 5 years into the future, where do you think the company would be?
Well, it's very important during the decision cycle, certainly in the 90s when a major corporation is evaluating technology to deliver service, that he have some vision as to the direction this industry is going. And I think it's as clear today as it's been in many, many years, and certainly the number of years I've been in the business. We are going to broadband technologies. That's a given. ATM will be a given in part of our lives, certainly from a carrier perspective in Canada within the next 3 to 4 years. ATM is already a given in terms of some campus and metropolitan area applications today. In the city of Toronto, there's several examples. So any technology that's deployed currently must be migratable from an investment protection perspective for the customer.
What do you mean by ATM?
Well, ATM, asynchronous transfer mode, essentially what it is provides very fast transport of data and or voice or video over communications infrastructures, essentially at the speed of light.
My understanding is that ATM is relatively expensive. Do you see a smaller version coming for smaller home offices?
That's occurring as we speak. Broadband ISDN, in terms of the service offerings that the carriers currently can offer at very, very economical rates, are becoming now prevalent in Canada, much more so in the States and at a more rapid pace, but the principal carriers in Canada are offering ISDN services, which is essentially and the ability to deliver much greater bandwidth to the home, which will enable these applications. Now, whether there's going to be enough bandwidth to enable a multimedia application, that's certainly questionable at this moment in time. But in terms of providing them the speed they require to work effectively within a home environment and access database and move files, that essential capability is there today.
Thank you very much, Rick. Rick MacPherson is with Ascom Timeplex. One of the interesting things about what they do is they put together the equipment that allows all of us to interconnect on the super data highway. Obviously, they have competitors in their marketplace, but with more companies looking to interconnect their branch offices, with more people working from home and trying to get rapid access to data and information from their houses or their cars or wherever, this whole field of interconnectivity of computers is going to explode over the next 5 or 10 years. And in fact, somewhere down the road, it may become the foundation for our home shopping and movies at home and that sort of thing. If you want to stay in touch with what's happening in the world of high technology, all you have to do is call our fax on demand system. That's the first number you see on the screen. Remember, it's best to call from your fax machine. If you'd like to tell us a little bit about what you're doing with your computer system, drop us a note to our fax mailbox and I'll pick it up and have a look, see what's happening in your world of technology. Coming up, we're going to have a little talk about some of our Christmas ideas for high technology right here on Computer Insider.
This top marketing executive prepares himself for the demands of today's business with his new Sharp electronic organizer. He has accelerated to the top through careful planning and organization, but he doesn't keep it all in his head. Instead, his competitive advantage is at hand. Always with him, ready with the information most needed, and sometimes with what's needed most. Sharp electronic organizers.
If you want to attract more business, you've got to work together. We all have our own special visions of where we want to be and how we want to work, wherever we are. At AST, we build computers to meet your worldview with award-winning products, service, and support. From notebooks to super servers, AST Computer. You'll like the way we work.
One of the problems we have in trying to tell you how to have a good, high-tech Christmas is to try and figure out where you are in your use of technology. For example, if you're an entry-level user and you don't have a computer at home, that would be an ideal place to start. For a lot of people, they've acquired computers over the last year or so, or in fact, maybe there's a surprise under your tree right now. If you're at that point where you have a machine to use, an idea to get comfortable with the computer is to go out and get computer games. Computer games are fun, they can be entertaining, and there's such a wide variety, you're sure to find something of use for you. Whether it's the bridge games we talked about earlier today, perhaps doing crossword puzzles, or maybe using some of the built-in games like Minesweeper or Solitaire. Games are a solid way to get a good handle on how to use your computer system. Of course, a lot of people who have been using technology for a while, feel that the computer is best used for a business application. I guess it's some sort of a cost justification for buying the computer in the first place. If that's what you're about, a good idea might be to get a hold of some sort of a shareware package that would better integrate some of the applications on your computer. For example, we came across one from Bonsai Software that actually takes the information from your word processor and merges it into your fax software. Actually, it works with Word and WinFax 4, giving you the ability to merge many hundreds of letters if that's what you want to do. The other thing you should try and do as you sit down and try and have a good high-tech Christmas is to work out a schedule so that you're able to sit down and put a certain amount of time aside every day to work with the computer. Initially, it might seem like a terrible waste of time, but as you get into the machine and learn more and more functions about the machine, you're going to find that you become much, much better at using the computer. And the payback? Better marks in school, better reports from the office. Have a Merry Christmas. I'm Bob Pritchard for Computer Insider.
Computer Insider has been brought to you by AST Computer. You'll like the way we work. Sharp Electronics. From sharp minds come sharp products.